Hello, dear Aquarius. I am Jamie Dawn, your revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your October 2021 horoscope. And we have a lot of activity in Libra, which makes a natural trine to your sun, moon, or rising sign in Aquarius. And with Mercury retrograde in Libra, as well as we have a new moon in Libra this month, and we have Mars canoodling with this new moon, and Mercury making a trine to Jupiter in your sign. Jupiter will go direct. Oh, so much activity. Venus moves into Sagittarius. And I want to just bring all of this to a head with Saturn also stationing and moving direct on the 11th. We're going to talk about all this and how it's going to affect you. And Aquarius, I would say that the biggest theme overall has probably been feeling a little bit stuck in a certain area of your life. Now, I'm placing the sun on the first house, so this applies to your Aquarius, we'll say rising sign. And so it's going to place Libra on your 9th house, which is all about open-mindedness, expansion, really broadening your horizons. This is also the house where your faith or your belief system is here. You know, they call it the house of God, but whatever term you use for that deeper knowing inside of you that says life has meaning because, and this is why I do what I do. And why I say what I say. It also, 9th house has a lot to do with long distance or at least far reaching information, higher wisdom, higher learning. And so you're going to most likely feel the effects of this Mercury retrograde asking you, maybe even having you question your own belief system about something or someone. And with this being in Libra, Libra really wants relationships and balance and fairness, all of those things. And so there could have been something, or there is something coming up this month of October that is making you question what you truly believe about yourself, about life, about a relationship, or about a job. And so this is a time where maybe there's some legal matters as well that have also come up that you're having to work with, or maybe you work in the legal profession. And so you're dealing with some delays with Mercury retrograde here. Maybe there's a little bit of a reevaluation of like, is this really lining up with who I really am, and is it the truest expression of what I do believe in? Now, if you feel you've been a little stuck, use this time of the Mercury retrograde to reevaluate, are you doing everything you possibly can, regardless of the outcome? Is it in alignment with your values? And if it's not, then reevaluate these values and come up with your system as far as what works for you. Because remember, we all have our own inner wisdom, and that's what you're being asked to come back to this month. What does your inner wisdom tell you? This Libra new moons are great for setting intentions, for reflection, for contemplation. With Mars canoodling this moon and sun, I would imagine it's going to drive you even deeper into the mind, because Aquarius, we know you like to think about things and you have great ideas that you want to share. And so it most likely will have you thinking about ways in which you can have more passion or more oomph in your relationships and in the relationship that you have to your belief system. It may also provide you with opportunities to be able to expand your ideas on a larger scale, because we are working with 9th house here. Now, what I will offer is, regardless of what opportunity may present itself during this time, it needs to be in alignment with what you feel gives you meaning in life. And so what you also may do is find yourself in conversation with, let's say you're single, conversation with your friends and yourself, coworkers, somebody that says, hey, you know what, I've decided I'm ready to date, or I'm ready to meet somebody, and this is why relationship gives me meaning, or this is, I want to help others in relationship, and so I need one in order to have the experience of it. And so you may be doing some backroom conversation around, I'm ready to make this happen. If you are in a relationship, a bonded relationship, you may find yourself really passionate about discussing what needs to change or what needs to be solidified, or there's an outside issue that comes in that says, hey, we've sort of put this on the back burner for a while. We need to bring it back and find some solution that works as a win-win for both of us. There's also an indication that this month of October sets you up for some long distance travel or some form of connection with someone important to you that you get to plan for. You may not actually travel until, say, November or even December, but at least you get to talk about it and you can feel really connected. That urge to seek connection is really strong, and to learn about something maybe you didn't know before. And maybe you'll philosophize and have all this abstract conversation, which can drive you even closer together with your beloved or with somebody that you feel is important to you. Now, Venus moves into Sagittarius on October 7th, right after this new moon, and Pluto stations direct. This is going to hit your 11th and 12th house, activating your friendships, your humanitarian efforts, all the things you're very comfortable with. Venus and Sagittarius makes a natural trine to your first house, to Aquarius. I'm sorry, a sextile, not a trine. And a sextile gives you opportunities that you put a little bit of effort into, but it should be a fun effort. And with Venus and Sagittarius, you may be looking at your friends saying, let's have a little bit more fun. Let's talk about stuff. And it may also be that your friends give you an extra atta girl, atta boy, and say, hey, you really need to talk to this Aquarian, or you really need to date this Aquarian, or you need to help them out. It may be too, now with Pluto stationing direct in your 12th house, that something that you didn't even think about or you didn't even know was bubbling under the surface now comes forward for you to be able to dance with. Now, I say dance with because with Pluto, I consider Pluto to be like the devil archetype, in the sense that better the devil you know than the one you don't. And Pluto has a hidden subconscious energy to it that is like the rotor-rooter that digs underneath the shit and bubbles something to the surface, and you have to deal with it. Pluto says surrender or die. And with it being in your 12th house, it's forced you to surrender to certain things that come up suddenly and you had no idea that they were even there, but you have to deal with it. And this isn't about dismissing that shadow or that shit. It's about using it and integrating it. Think of it like compost. You need it. You need that compost in order to make something grow. It nourishes the soil or the dirt. And that's what I feel the month of October will do, is it'll bring some really cool stuff up for you to be able to go, yeah, I can own that. And now I find power because I'm facing it and I can use it in a wonderful, lighthearted way, maybe to expand my experiences, expand my mind. That's that Venus and Sagittarius. Maybe it expands your social circle with all this Libra activity, and that can bring you great joy because you'll find that people line up with you. They say, wow, I love this Aquarian. They're always so friendly and always wanting to connect. And so here we go. I want to be around them. And I will say that you should have, Aquarius, you should have some really nice golden nuggets throughout the month of October that you're on the right track. So speak your truth. Just be careful of the dogma that can also come up. Because with Venus and Sagittarius, she has a way of attracting some opportunities for you to be able to say what you need to say when you need to say it, but not everybody will necessarily be listening. So you have to know your audience as well. Saturn direct in your sign, October 11th. So this gives you an opportunity. Now you'll start to see over time, and remember, it takes time for things to show up. Saturn's very masterful in making sure that you have done the training, you've done the work. When Saturn was retrograde, it was most likely influencing you to go inside of yourself and say, where do I need to discipline myself, or where do I need to practice a little bit more so that I can master how I want to show up for myself, how I want to show up for others. And you can start to see the fruits of your labor because you've been steady. You've been tried and true to yourself and to those that you are loyal to. And this will be a double reward as the Sun and Mars moves into Scorpio at the end of the month. But before I talk about that, let's talk about Mercury stationing direct, because Mars will be trining Jupiter at this time, and Jupiter stations direct same day that Mercury does. And that's October 18th. So your 9th and 1st house doubly energized with this beautiful trine from Mars to Jupiter, making you a cosmic favorite to be able to stand on a stage, so to speak, and speak your mind with force, but also with optimism. So if there's a message that you have been wanting to say to someone or to an audience, people are going to listen. They're going to really see you as being that expert in your field. And with this being in your first house, the expert is you. Who's a better expert at your life? You're the one living it. And so you get to make decisions based on what you feel is right for you. You get to step on stage, so to speak, or out in the world, and you get to say, this is who I am. Some of you may be releasing a course. Maybe there's something you've been holding close to your chest that you've been waiting to release to the public. This is a time to do it. It could be an announcement of, hey, we're having a baby, or it could be an announcement of, hey, I got this job opportunity that's going to require me to travel, or it could be I'm working from home, but I'm expanding my business into something else, into a broader scale. There's lots of different ways this can show up for you, but consider this to be really positive. If you get frustrated in the first half of October, stay patient, because when Mercury stations and starts going direct, you'll start to see more communication, more information. Don't make major decisions in the month of October until you have all the information. So use this time to gather more information, and then by the end of the month, execute, especially as we have an Aries full moon, October 20th. That's going to hit that 9th and 3rd house of yours. And so that gives you an extra oomph to release into the wild all these ideas, all these informational opportunities that you have, where you will most likely attract to you. With Venus and Sagittarius, you'll most likely attract people who need your wisdom and who want to hear what you have to say. So use this full moon to release everything that you have learned over the last couple of weeks, months, years, because we're certainly not the same people we once were. I would say this too, on a relationship standpoint, because we are working with an Aries full moon, we're going to work with the my want, my will versus somebody else's will. And so there's that personal agenda versus the larger agenda. How do we make this a win-win situation? What do I need to let go of that doesn't serve me anymore? And for this 9th and 3rd house, there may, again, be a belief or an idea that you have. They say ideas are like a virus. Once you have them, you can't get rid of them. Well, this is a time where you can actually get rid of an idea by shifting it and declaring what it is that you ultimately believe about it now, based on all the information you had. I would say that there could be an announcement of ideas and emotions from yourself or from another that says, hey, I just want you to know how I really feel about you and about this situation. This is a great time too for taking on the idea of radical self-love so that you can have a deeper connection with the beloved versus projecting. So personal relationships, if you're single, this is a time to go, yeah, I really love me. I'm ready to attract that person. This is a time, that full moon, where I can see you going to a party or having a friend connect you, and it just becomes a wonderful union. If you're bonded, you have a chance to be able to let go. Yes, a very small percentage may let go of the relationship altogether, but I sense that most of you will let go of this belief or the struggle that you may have had with your beloved that says, you know what, it's not worth fighting over. We're now back on the same page. I love you more than the issue itself. The relationship is more important, so let's work on that. And this is also a time where you two may, on the positive note, may release something together, make an announcement together as a couple. When the sun moves into Scorpio, October 23rd, it's going to activate that 10th house. And then Mars a week later activates your 10th house as well when it moves into Scorpio. And so this gives you a chance to be able to focus a little bit on your career, your public status, your legacy. What is it that you're wanting to really leave behind? And you want most likely people to see that you do have the emotional depth, that you do have the staying ability. You're a fixed sign, so you know how to be loyal. And I will say too, that it's possible some secrets may come out that make you feel betrayed or make you feel as though you can't trust. And so this is where it comes back to remembering, trust yourself. You can't control an outcome, but what you can do is you can stay in alignment with who you truly are. There's an element of no compromise. It could also have you locking horns with an authority figure at this time. That's a possibility. or most likely, I would say you find yourself in a position with an authority figure, somebody in power that you actually get to bond even closer. Maybe you take a new job, maybe you help them out and you become a real partnership with them. It's possible here that you also are collaborating with them on something that is going to have this beautiful fruit that gets born after time. There's also with Mars here, there's a fight for maybe who you are, your reputation that comes in here, but it can also be where your reputation moves you forward into what you're ultimately wanting out of life. And this comes back to, again, you living your best life means it's your life. You have to live it. There's nobody else that can do it but you. And so with Mars here, you may be driven to stand on a stage and say, look who I am, look at what I can do. I'm okay with it. You need me. I'm an asset. And this applies either to personal or professional as well, because the person that you may call beloved or the group of friends that you enjoy, they're going to reflect back to you your deepest desires. And then others come to you and say, Aquarius, I trust you. So remember, trust is built over time and testing, and coming back to trusting yourself is key. And that may be some things that you work with during the month of October as well, is building that trust, that hope and faith in yourself, and really revisiting that belief system of like, am I good enough? Am I worthy? Have I done my work? Yeah, you have. And if you haven't, now is the time to find that higher education, to expand the mind, to maybe bring in a teacher that can help you find a greater clarity, or to find some other tools and skills that you can use in order to become even masterful at who you are. That's where Saturn and Jupiter in your sign are begging of you right now, is just to take all those past experiences that you've had over the last couple of years, because of Saturn being in Aquarius over the last year, as well as Jupiter, even though it dipped its toe into Pisces, it will leave your sign at the end of the year. But for now, these past issues, you can start to see as Jupiter and Saturn are direct, that they come back so that you can now approach it in the better version of yourself, because you are not the same Aquarian you were even just 2 months ago. All right, you guys, I really hope that this helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and find me at jamiedawn.com. I look forward to connecting with you. Have such a great month.